Hey, what's up everybody? BSG Trek Fan 88 here for yet another product review. It's been a while since I've actually reviewed something, and I was going to do this video when I first bought the item, but I was kind of lazy and didn't do it. So many of you, excuse me while I try and organize my icons here. Many of you know that I am a science fiction fan. Terminator 2, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek. Now, if there's one thing that you can say about Star Trek, and it's not the only one, not the only series, but the ships of Star Trek are probably the most well-known ships of any science fiction series. Think about it for a minute. I mean, you can go on the street in New York City, Tokyo, Great Britain's London, whatever. You hold up I don't have one close to me, it's over there. You hold up an Enterprise, Kirk's Enterprise, and you can cross off the names with whiteout. People will go, oh, that's the Enterprise. You know, you hold up Galactica. As much as I love Galactica, trust me, I did a video review on the Mobius kit, and people won't know what it is. You know, the Battleship Yamato science fiction series, Spaceship Yamato, whatever it's called. I honestly don't know much about it. Japan might get it, but not many people. You know, the ships of Star Trek will go down in history as, again, probably the most well-known. I'm not going to say influential, because that word really doesn't fit too well. But I have quite an assortment, or had in the past as well, many Star Trek models. If you're a science fiction fan, you have to have models of ships. But one of the hardest ships, in my opinion, that has ever been that I've ever tried to make was the Galaxy-class Enterprise-D, which is the ship from Star Trek The Next Generation. Now, in Star Trek mythos, the Galaxy-class was, and I think still is, canon, the largest ship design ever by Starfleet. If you don't watch Star Trek, Starfleet is Star Trek. Starfleet is the group or the institution responsible for space exploration, all that jazz. I'm not gonna geek out on you here, don't worry. It's huge. You could take, I think it's like 6 modern day aircraft carriers, lay them end to end. I don't know. It's a big ship. And I had a model when I was a kid, but because of the ship's design, it's so big. There's so many lights. There's so much detail and Aztec painting. I've always wanted a pre-painted model of a Galaxy-class ship. It doesn't have to be necessarily the Enterprise. Well, Diamond Select Toys came out with, I think, a 1/1500th scale or something like that, which was good. You know, for you can, in the store when it came out, you could buy it for $30. Nowadays, it goes on eBay for like 100 or so. It's great. It's big. It's detailed, but it's a toy. It's not a model. Well, this science fiction fan here found out a while ago that I'm reading on the screen here to pronounce this. Aoshima, which is Aoshima of Japan, created a 1/2000 scale Enterprise-D pre-painted, pre-lit. Now, this kit's been around for a couple of years now, I believe. It's not old, it's not new. It's fucking amazing, and there will be pictures following this review, as there was one in the very beginning. But this is the pre-painted, pre-put together Enterprise-D 1/2000 scale. Now, again, my webcam really can't do this justice because it can't really focus, but you can tell right away that there's Aztec painting. Okay, the lifeboats are different. What I mean by Aztec painting is that it's not all one sheet or one color of gray. There's little zigzags, kind of like what they called dazzle paint in World War II, when ships were not painted on the contrary to popular belief. They weren't painted all 1 or 2 colors. They were given zigzag patterns and a whole bunch of weird shit to keep an enemy who's going to try and fire a torpedo or try and sight the ship far away. That's not the same case here, obviously, but it's the closest thing I can come to as an example. It's not terribly big. You know, if I go back here, it sits in my hand. You know, this is a 2-liter bottle of soda, so it's not bad. It's not small, but this is not as big as the old AMT or Revell kits that you could buy back when Star Trek was popular, and you can still get these days. But the detail, again, you wait for the pictures and maybe I'll throw some up during the video, I don't know yet. It's absolutely amazing. Now, to top it off, not only is this pre-painted and pre-put together, but it has saucer separation. Okay, now I glued this together because I know, stop booing the screen, stop throwing shit at your monitor. In order to create the saucer separation, what they did was they put a magnet right where, ironically enough, the battle bridge was, or I think that's where the battle bridge was. And it works for a static display. Like if if this wasn't glued, you put it on its stand, right? And I really don't like handling my models this way, but for the review, you put it on its display, and that's it. And you could actually display this with saucer separation. So the star drive section could go here, and for you local yokels who don't know Star Trek, that's the ass end of the ship, and the saucer would go up here. Speaking of the problem, the two problems. One, as much as I appreciate them making a clear display, which is nice, and you have, God, even 720p can't show that off. You have the plaque. This stand sucks. Aoshima. Seriously, look how wide this is. If you have the model on its stand on a flat surface and you tap this, it slides all over the place. So what would happen is, if it doesn't slide all over the place, the magnet, as good as it is for just simply sitting there, if you were to pick up the model, boom, the saucer section, which if you look at this kit, this is a lot of weight. Even back when they first debuted the show, people thought, wow, there's a lot of stuff up here. I mean, now we know about the Galaxy class, it's canon, it's classic, it's history. But when you first look at this ship, if you've never been exposed to Star Trek, you're like, wow, there's a lot going on up here. It weighs a lot, okay? So the saucer section would constantly fall off the star drive section, or the model would just, again, separate from each other, and then it would fall off the stand. So I really got tired of that. I figured, okay, look, it's really only ever going to be displayed in my room. I put a little bit of super glue here, and it's not going anywhere. And to be honest with you, I'd rather be able to manhandle this if I want to show friends or clean it or dust it than have the saucer separation. And I think a lot of you will agree with me there, especially if you own this kit. Okay, so it's pre-painted, it's pre-put together, the detail's amazing. What else could you want for? Oh, wait a second, let me push two buttons here. The goddamn thing is pre-lit. It has LED lighting throughout the model, which is actually very good. It's not like some cheap toy where you can see light bleed. I have gone over this thing and it is absolutely amazing, except for a few places where, like on the nacelle right there, which you're never gonna see when you're just on display. The detail on this is absolutely awesome. I mean, this is literally what I've wanted since being a younger kid who liked Star Trek. It's just like my Bandai Enterprise-E, only it's not as detailed. And when I say that, I really should say the paint isn't as accurate. But to have a pre-lit, which, by the way, another thing too, if you kept the saucer separation, you can pick the lighting. You can pick just the nacelle, just the wow, the nacelles, I'm okay. The saucer section, or you can turn on the star drive section. The star drive section and the saucer section both run on, I think it's 3 button batteries. Totally cool. Now, one fault about this kit is that if you look here on the bottom, you can clearly see the screw holes, okay, to put the model together, as well as here. And this is actually the battery compartment, as is back here. Now, it did come with little bits like that match the paint and fit in the holes. Unfortunately, it's not a perfect fit where they just fall out and you would have to glue them in, and I'm not about to do that because the batteries are eventually going to have to be replaced. But I can forgive that because there are no holes on the top or the dorsal section or the sides. So, you know, kind of annoying, and they did include a way to fix that, but they just fall out, literally. So for what you can pay for this model, I think I paid... Shit, I can't even remember what I paid for this. I know it wasn't that much. I know it wasn't cheap. It was like 80 bucks, 100 bucks. Which to some of you out there, you're going, why would you spend that much on a fictional starship model that you're never ever going to see in real life? I don't care. It's part of my model collection. It's one of my 5 main hobbies. But to have the Enterprise-D in all its glory, as detailed as it is, to be able to sit on my shelf next to my Enterprise-E and a few other ships that are over there, pretty cool. If you have the expendable income and you have the ability to do so, please pick up this kit. It is not made anymore to my knowledge, so prices will be going up on this. This is kind of like the Bandai Enterprise and Voyager kits, where they're pre-painted, pre-lit, you just put them together. They weren't that expensive. They were like 80 bucks when they came out, and now you can't buy them for less than 300. So if you have the expendable income, pick up Picard's tried and true ship. This is BSG Trek Fan 88 for another product review, signing out.